the porch. I am here today on my porch with my UPS driver, Joe Arias.
Yeah.
And it's just, we get to know each other as he's delivering packages, and he is actually my dog's favorite person because he has dog cookies in his vehicle, and mine are really not allowed to have those treats, so he spoils them.
I'm like the ice cream man whenever I come around with them.
Yeah, he's like the ice cream truck. He knows. Anyway, so I just have had interesting conversations with him, and I just wanted y'all to share and getting to know your neighbor that actually may know more about you than you realize because you get a lot of packages, and that is very telling. He can probably tell you the interesting packages that I receive. There's some weird ones.
Yeah, a lot of horse medicine and vitamins that I get a lot. And then what else was something that you've got? I know, the dog food. We recently talked about the dog food and how
I make my own raw dog food.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I don't think I've never really looked into people's packages, but like something like that was pretty interesting.
You can see if somebody's a health nut or not. So
yes.
Anyway,
also.
so how long have you been working in the Waller area?
In the Waller area, I've been out here 6 years. Coming up in November, I think, makes 6 years that I've been out here. I started driving at UPS in the Galleria area, and so I grew up in Stafford, so that was kind of like, part of the busy part of town and the spot to be and everything. And then so I gradually moved out this way, and then whenever the new building popped up in Willowbrook is when I started venturing out into the rural areas and rural routes and everything. And I fell in love with Waller. It started off in Hockley. My first country route was Hockley. And then that grew so fast. And then so I moved out here 6 years ago as in my route, and I fell in love with it, especially like driving up your driveway. You have all your horses and hay bales, and you really don't see that in the Galleria area. And so, just coming out here, this has to be one of my favorite spots that I've delivered to, just because of the horses. Same thing with, there's a breeder down Kickapoo, and, she has hundreds of horses, and that's an interesting place I've delivered to. So.
Yeah, so those are some interesting deliveries to breeding places that we are familiar with.
I'll never forget that. When I first delivered to her, I asked her, I was like, what do y'all do here? I was like, y'all have so many horses. And she's like, we make the babies. And I was like, what? And she had all the mares lined up and all the horses and everything. And it was very interesting. And so it was like every time I was delivering in there, it was learning something new every day. And so it was pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't go out there as much anymore just because of all the growth that's coming out this way. So they've kind of altered and changed my route out a lot. As long as I still have here, I'm okay.
Yeah, that's what we said. It's kind of sad. You're getting maybe more of the neighborhoods because there's so many new houses that you're kind of having to change your routes, and you don't get to go to some of the pretty places now.
Right. And so, I still get to meet a lot of cool people out here. I'm still in Waller. I still do all the downtown Waller area. I recently moved out here, so my daughter goes to the high school out here, and so it's kind of like I'm always close to her, and so that's a good thing.
Right.
And so as much growth that's out here, it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
So Max is joining our podcast today. Come here. So everybody can get to meet Max, and Kess is somewhere wandering, but they love to be here again.
So he is one of my favorite dogs that actually comes up to me and actually is really nice and fun and takes a bathroom break on my tire from time to time.
Sorry.
No. But these two are like pretty much the only dogs that I have left on my route, just because of all, like we just talked about, all the growth that's coming out here. And I really don't go out to the rural side of my route anymore, which where all my friends were, meaning furred friends and everything.
Right.
But yeah. And he had to come be a part of it.
But he barks at my husband coming home, and he loves the UPS truck coming.
Yeah.
I don't know what the reason is.
They actually meet me halfway down the driveway, and
They're not supposed to do that.
yeah, they're not supposed to eat dog treats either. And I just found that out.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We forgive you.
All right.
So, is there any fun stories that you have of not naming any names of some deliveries or crazy things that have happened on your route?
In the rural area that I would deliver out there towards in Waller, I'll never forget. There were two Doberman pinschers that were in their property and in their gates and everything, and I thought they were on their leashes or like they had them behind the gate or anything like that. And I'll never forget, I dropped off the package at their gate. I turned around, and then there was another one standing right there at the entrance of my truck. And, oh, man, talking about being scared. Because, I mean, it was almost dark time, and, you know, it was kind of like towards the fall time of the season or whatever. And that just was, I'll never forget that moment. Because it's like your throat just ends up in your stomach, and you didn't know what to do. And I was like, this is how I leave. This is how I go. And he just turned around and walked away, and I was just like, okay, well, there's that.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a crazy day. Actually, another story. Stories. I got stuck on their property. The stories when I first started delivering out here, just kind of slipped off into the ditch, and one of the nephews came out, and he was like, "You gonna go get my dad and my uncle? We'll pull you out." I was like, "Okay." And it was like, man, I want to say it was the first year I was out here, so I never really knew anybody. And then here comes Matt Story and his brother, and I was just like, oh man, it's one of these kind of sides of towns, and friendliest people you would ever meet, the Stories, and they pulled me out real easy, and that was something I'll never
Yeah, we have
forget,
tractors
man.
out here for that.
Yeah, and you know, I was like, man, they're gonna just get mad, or you know, because I slipped into their ditch. It was a rain day, and no, they were pretty cool and pulled me out. And,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
that's how you become friends with a lot of people out here, just because you deal with everybody out here more than you do your own family with UPS drivers, and you just become pretty close with everybody.
So maybe tell us a little story about how you met Chief Lopez.
Oh, Mr. Lopez. I was out here for the first year, and I ran a stop sign allegedly, but he has it on cameras and everything, so I had to get the ticket. And he pulled me over, and he was like, "Son, you know, is this your first time out here?" I was like, "No, I've actually been out here a while." I said, I actually delivered to the police station, and he was like, "Son, it's a stop sign. You're supposed to stop, and you know, you can't run them out here." And I was like, "Yes, sir." And so I got my ticket, went on about my way. And then a couple of years later, I ended up running into him again, and I told him, I said, "Man, Mr. Lopez," I said, "ever since I got my ticket, I never realized how many stop signs were in Waller County." Oh man, we both had a good laugh right there in front of CVS, and that's how me and Mr. Lopez became friends. We see each other almost every day, and he'll stand outside of the police station every now and then to make sure that I stop at that little four-way stop in front of the police station, and then either he'll honk at me or I'll honk at him, and we just wave and go on about our day.
Count to 3. Stop
Yeah.
at everyone.
Yeah, and then now our trucks have cameras in the front, so we kind of really have to do it now. So yeah, but yeah, that's how I met Mr. Lopez.
Yeah, he says he knows everybody's vehicle, but for sure knows yours.
That he does, and then I mean, I kind of like the same thing with what Mr. Lopez said on the last podcast. You know, you get to learn a lot of people's vehicles and whereabouts, and you know how they do and how they live amongst everybody, and how they all become really close with everybody. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty cool. I said that's what I loved about Waller, was everybody's so close knit but lives so far away from each other, and I really like that. Small town still, for now, and
yeah,
you got a little small town moving next door too.
I do.
Yeah.
We're working on trying to stay connected as we grow, right? And I know we have other connections, like favorite restaurants. We're always just like,
oh yeah,
things like that. We end
the
up
ice
having
cream
in
place
common.
around town. And
So you run into people everywhere you go when you're at the grocery store,
Right.
and it still feels pretty small at this point. But
And it's crazy. I just came from Kroger's before I came over here, and I ran into somebody that lives out this way, and I'm just like, man, you got to watch this podcast. And so I told him about it, and we ran in, and that was all the way in Cypress. So you still run into people that you know from a small town and in a big city, because Cypress used to be small, and now that's crazy big.
So what else do you just do to stay connected in your community?
Since I moved out here a couple of months ago, you know, me and my son, we come get our haircuts out here now. We
And here's
Yes,
Kes.
ma'am.
She's coming to join.
How are you?
To connect with you too.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
Yeah, so we support our local businesses. We can. We
I
try to
really
buy
do
local.
like a lot of the small local businesses that are around here. I always like to go to a lot of the restaurants that are out here. Jordan's, of course, is a good one. What else? Grocery store. Everything we do mostly out here if I need something, I'll run to Arlen's. I'd rather run to Arlen's than go all the way into town to Kroger's.
Yeah, it's fast.
Yeah. The ice cream place, and since we moved out here, it's a lot more more convenience to come out this way instead of going into a big city. Buc-ee's is always a good thing, but I mean that's not such a small business. But you know, a lot of people take Buc-ee's for granted because they have to drive miles to go to Buc-ee's, and we got it right here in our backyard.
They employ a lot of our local people, though,
Oh,
so
yeah,
we
of
still
course.
want to support that. And that part of those tax dollars goes to your city
Yeah.
to
Oh,
pay for
yeah.
your city infrastructure. So
Right.
Buc-ee's is in the city limits. So.
Right. And so I've always supported small business, especially since I've been out here. I always like to do a lot of my shopping out here. My vehicles get fixed out here if I ever run into something. I buy actually tires from that. What's that new tire shop they built out here?
The new one?
With the red and black buildings. I can't remember, but it's a local family-owned business. Him and his dad own some. I think it's Gomez.
Oh, yes.
Gomez Tires.
Right there on Business 290.
Yeah, they they're father and son owned, and I really like that. And so they always take care of us, and I don't even really think he knows who I am, like the UPS guy or anything. And he still gives me good prices, so I can't beat that. And you're supporting local and small town, family-owned business. And you know, it's crazy how close knit Waller is. Just for the last 2 years, probably longer than that. I had a little boy on my route. I'll never forget. He was a little boy that lived on my route, and I would always ask his mom because they were getting medicine or like a medicine package every week, and I was like you know, just out of curiosity, I always ask, is this something that needs to be here sooner? You know, because it's every week. And she was like, yeah, it's my son's medicine. It kind of keeps him alive. And I'm like, what do you mean? And so I met the little boy, and we became pretty good friends. And he passed away already 2 years ago. Or maybe it's been 2 years that I'm growing out my hair for him. But it's a year that he's passed away already. And I didn't even really think about that till now. But he was really young, around my kid's age, and so it's like you see little kids go through stuff like that, and it's like, you know, kids aren't supposed to go through that. And so needing medicine to kind of keep them alive is what really made me want to get closer to him, just because he was so interested in my truck, so interested or infatuated when I came in and like ring his doorbell, and he would never let anybody else take his package because he knew what his packages looked like. He knew what it was for him, and so he would tell his brothers like, no, this is mine, and he'll get mad if one of the brothers would take it. And so I would just make sure he was here. And then once we were able to start taking pictures, I'll never forget, on our computers, we had to take pictures of when we dropped off the package. And so I think I have a couple of them that I would take of him. I would take them with him. Like I would take pictures of him taking his package with the computer, and I would always tell his mom, hey, track the package. It's going to be a picture of him and everything like that. And so, yeah, we became really close. And when he passed away, that was a hard time, just because it was something, it was expected, but he conquered so much as a little boy. And being sick, you would have never known he was sick, because he was just so high-spirited, just always outside playing. He loved going to school, and then the school actually went above and beyond for him. They were, you know, taking him out in his wheelchair and running around with him, making him feel like a kid. And so that's one thing that I really, really loved about Waller, was that, you know, that they go above and beyond for their kids. And I mean, I have kids myself, and I would want a school to do something like that. And I feel like Waller, being such a small town, is able to do that, and not any other big city. So that's one thing that I really fell in love with Waller, was because of that.
Well, and you were delivering some important package there too.
Oh,
You never know.
Yeah, you never do. And then, like I said, I've been out here 6 years, and you get to learn everybody, and you know, it's crazy. It's crazy how much you learn about people just by delivering their package and becoming really cool with them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I think one thing I saw about you is you like to do like barbecue.
I do like to barbecue. I'm I do a lot of competition barbecue now. Mostly I was doing like small town cook-offs, like the barbecue store. We would do the barbecue store every now and then. They do a lot of good stuff for the community also. They do buckles and badges. They do a lot of stuff for the police department and sheriff's department. I do some of their cook-offs, but most of the time now I do just family cook-offs or just little cooks at home. Nothing crazy anymore. I think the only ones that I really do that are really big are with my cooking team that I joined, and that's been pretty fun. So we do a lot of the big county cook-offs and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just so people know the rest of your story.
Yeah,
There's
I do like to barbecue.
different sides.
Yeah, I just don't deliver packages all the time. But yeah, barbecue it's my passion. That's how my grandpa taught me how to cook. So that's where I get it from. Started when I was probably like 13, 14 years old. And we would just sit outside underneath a big tree like this. We grew up on 2 acres, had a big oak tree. And we would just sit underneath there, barbecue, and talk about life. Yeah.
On a porch?
On a porch. Actually, no, not in a porch. We were in
Under
just
the tree.
underneath the tree, and it felt like a porch,
Yeah.
just because that's where everybody met. Everybody hung out underneath the big oak tree. And now, Stafford's not such a small town anymore, and where I grew up now is a business park.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
Not
crazy.
The same. Not the same.
No,
I'm
it's
afraid
really
this
not.
won't be the same either. Just as much crowd there is there going to be. I'm just sandwiched between 2 neighborhoods, so
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
I may have to escape before this. It will probably end up being a commercial, something at the front of the property.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
I know.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm going to be in Waller, man, probably till I retire. I like it too much. I actually have the chance now to go out towards Hempstead or Chapel Hill and all that, but Waller's where I'm supposed to be at.
Too far.
Yeah, too far from my house, and it's a long drive.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, we're glad to have you here, and thanks for sharing with us
of course.
here. And I want you guys to subscribe. Go online and subscribe so that you can see your next neighbor. I don't want you to miss one. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.